Welcome to Edison TV. I'm Jo Price. Well, last time we talked to Loop Energy, it was in relatively general terms about their business model and the strategy they've put in place to disrupt major elements of the now rapidly emerging hydrogen economy. Edison Research analyst James Magness joined us in the studio, and whilst confirming that Loop's ambitions were ambitious yet achievable, he highlighted that investors would be looking for Loop to set and of course meet some relatively challenging objectives. Well, in the meantime, Loop has announced its Q1 2022 results, so we thought we'd invite their president and CEO to see what progress is being made. Hello to Ben, welcome.
Hi Jo, great to be here.
Nice to have you. So Ben, if we could just touch on those latest results for a moment, do you think that they demonstrate that you're setting and meeting those challenging objectives that James talked about in the previous interview?
Absolutely. It's been a phenomenal first quarter start to our year. 24 units in the first quarter of this year is fully 40% towards our goal of 60 for the year. And it's really being facilitated because another customer entered the scale-up phase and more customers are starting to order more units in that pilot phase. We also are seeing great customer collaboration happening. We highlighted recently M&I and Teva as two companies. M&I doing the bus and Teva doing the truck. And so just highlighting some details about them, M&I has taken our 30 kilowatt, they've put it into a 9-meter bus with a 10.5 kilogram tank of hydrogen. It has a range of 400 kilometers, which is phenomenal. And it's the right size of bus for some of the smaller streets in the older cities around Europe. So it's very much a specialty and niche market, but a phenomenal product. And then Teva ran a very disciplined down selection process to arrive at their fuel cell provider. It started last spring with really all of the fuel cell companies. They down selected to 4 companies. They built demonstration vehicles for each of the 4 finalists. Each of the finalists went in, Loop was one of them, built our fuel cells into the vehicle, and then ultimately we were selected as the fuel cell provider for their 7.5-ton truck. And so these are great examples of how our customers are working with us and how that hands-on experience we're having with the customers is leading to accomplishing these goals and moving into that second scale-up phase. And then of course, with the 1200, we're seeing great advances there. Initial tests are showing the performance is even better in the 1200 than it is in our current product. The S1200 will be launched in the second half of this year is the plan. And then of course, we're fully funded through the end of this year. And so very excited about what we're going to be able to accomplish and really excited that we are achieving exactly what we set out to and I think in a good position in some cases to overachieve.
Congratulations, that sounds great. Could you tell us a bit more about the numbers you think are key to success for the business going forward?
Well, absolutely. So obviously, as a company at our stage, what we need to do is get more traction in the marketplace and increase our revenues, increase the number of units we're shipping. And so what we've shared with the market is that we intend to triple the purchase orders this year over last year. So last year we had purchase orders for 19 units. This year we've set the target for 60. And as I said before, we're 40% of the way there with 24 units in the first quarter. So although we expect quarters to be lumpy and not every quarter is going to be the same as the first quarter, it's a fantastic start and it gives us a tremendous amount of confidence. And that really, the growth in the purchase orders is one of the key signals for the marketplace to look for. The other key metric is really scaling our production. We all are familiar with Wright's Law and the benefits that come from scaling production. And so as we get more customers into the scale-up phase and hopefully soon into the commercial phase of ordering hundreds of units, that will allow us to drive the cost out. So that's another key metric. And we're targeting a 25% reduction in our bill of materials for our more mature products. So that's a great step forward and a great amount of progress that we're making. It's being facilitated by design improvements, but also really by the increase in volume and our ability to draw more from our supply chain. We are seeing some pricing pressures in the supply chain, specifically around wiring, but right now, nothing that we would expect that would really encumber delivering against our targets. So we'll keep our eye on that. As long as we achieve our purchase order targets for the year, we would expect to be shipping about 45 units. And so in terms of anticipated revenue, that 45 unit number is really what we're looking at. That would be a 300% increase over 2021. So again, a dramatic improvement in the sort of growth that investors would, I think, be looking for from a company at Loop's stage in terms of one that's really being successful. And then the average in there, there'll be 30 kilowatt units, 50 kilowatt units, 60 kilowatt units, but the average is going to be about 50. The 50 kilowatt unit is our most mature product. It's really where there's the most market demand as well. And then finally, obviously measuring our progress towards producing. And so we're putting about $20 to $30 million into CapEx this year to make sure that we're at a point where we can produce at our capacity of 1,000 units per year, which is really staying well ahead of what the market's going to demand, and make sure that we can deliver on even our most aggressive strategy.
It sounds a glowing start to 2022. Thank you so much, Ben, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we have time for today, but if you do want more information on Loop Energy, there are plenty of deep dive explanations and investor resources on their website. Plus, if you haven't seen the first interview with Ben and Edison Research analyst James Magness, just search Loop Energy on the Edison website. And if you'd like to arrange a meeting with Ben, do reach out to us and we'll see what we can set up. Thank you for watching.